Prime Minister come under the anti-corruption Lokpal bill? That's been the divide between civil society members and the government. Now the centre has announced it sent a letter asking political parties and state governments views. The government also was quick to say it wasn't a delaying tactic. They're still sticking to that 30th of June deadline.
Should the Prime Minister be brought within the purview of the Lokpal, the choice is not a binary choice, yes or no. The choice can be among yes, no, or yes with qualifications.
There should be a place where a person can go, make a complaint, there's an honest investigation and honest prosecution. This is what we are looking at. And right from top to bottom, not just for a small band of officers.
The divide, it seems, is complete. A day after the Lokpal bill, activists threatened to walk out and launch another agitation if the government didn't comply with their demands. The government's troubleshooters hit back and made it clear that the UPA is not in a mood to be bullied. Consensus is the key, and for this, Pranab Mukherjee had already written to all the chief ministers and political leaders for their opinion on the 6 main points of divergence. Pranab Mukherjee's letter that has gone out asks, should the Prime Minister be brought under Lokpal? What should be the structure of Lokpal? Should Supreme Court and High Court judges be under Lokpal? Should MPs conduct in Parliament come under Lokpal? And should Lokpal be a quasi-judicial body? And should Lokpal be given powers to investigate?
Calling the government adamant, the civil society members say they don't know where to compromise either. So is the Lokpal bill heading in for a stalemate?
आप सरकार के ऊपर कोई आरोप लगाओगे कि सरकार की मंशा ठीक नहीं है, तो मैं समझता हूं कि जो गंभीर चर्चा चल रही है उसमें बाधा आएगा.
The controversy coincides with the government's new headache, Yoga Guru Ramdev's threat to go on fast on the issue of black money. However, interestingly, Ramdev has not supported Anna Hazare's proposal to bring the Prime Minister and higher judiciary under the purview of the Lokpal bill. The government says it will stick to its 30th of June deadline.
Civil society members said that the government has gone back on its word of including the Prime Minister under the Lokpal and even threatened to walk out. So the governments quickly moved in with their damage control, saying that the government is serious about the Lokpal bill and will try to bring in the bill in the monsoon session of Parliament. But the government is keen to convey one message. If the talks break down, then it will not be the government, but the civil society members who will be responsible. With Achal Vora, in New Delhi, Sandeep Phukan, NDTV.
But there's no denying that the government perhaps is feeling the heat. They don't want another mass movement like we've seen with Anna Hazare, which galvanized the public, the middle class in particular. The Prime Minister personally has told NDTV, he's written to Baba Ramdev asking him not to go ahead with his proposed fast against black money. The Prime Minister has written to Baba Ramdev that corruption is a big issue and the government will use all its resources to fight it. The Prime Minister also says the Finance Ministry officials have already briefed Baba Ramdev on steps taken to curb black money. But there's also a divide within the anti-corruption camp on the issue of bringing the Prime Minister under the purview of the Lokpal. Anna Hazare's team wants the Prime Minister to come under the Lokpal. Baba Ramdev thinks otherwise. He today said the post of the Prime Minister and the Chief Justice should be exempt from the Lokpal scrutiny. So I think the kind of news that's now coming out of this Lokpal panel is really leading many to ask, is it over before it began?
Absolutely. You know, I think I was always very uncertain about the result of this Lokpal because there are too many issues. First is that it is a privilege of Parliament to bring in or introduce bills like that. Members of civil society, yes, we are watchdogs. There are people on this committee who command a lot of respect from the public, but do they really entitle to bring in this kind of legislation? The other thing is that the question whether the Prime Minister should be in the purview or not, well, in a way, yes. And the other side is that there should be some individuals in a constitutional body who are elected Prime Minister or President. There should be a little aloof or above this sort of thing.
But critics would say that unless you get them under the purview, it will never have a trickle-down effect. You wouldn't agree?
No, I say, okay, fine. But you know what will happen in the future? It's not just Manmohan Singh we are talking about.
He has personally, of course, said, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but the thing is, once you make this as law, then the entire generation of, future Prime Minister will be under that. And what will happen? That, every now and then, there will be demand for him to stand for some sort of a trial, and no work will be done. The sacrosanct positions elected either the Prime Minister or the President should be respected.
Right.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.